Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
So next question is how to use container. Very simple question. How to use container. Before you use the container, I would like to tell you one thing here. The magical command which is called run. So what is run? So last time what you did the create and start, but it's like a two commands we have. So is there any shortcut to get the created done and you know uh, starting the containers and stuff like that? So yes, we have a magical command which is basically a shortcut to pull, create, start. Okay, so if the image is not existing, it is pulling that. After it will create a container, and after that it will start the container. And one more thing it will do, become a container. Okay, now become a container, that means you become a container. Simple. You were bash but you become a container process PID1. If you are not able to visualize it, no problem, I'll show you the demo. I'll show you this one. So sometime also we call it attached to a container. This is also we say. Okay, so run means pull plus create plus start plus become a container. Okay, so remember always whenever you use the command run, it always create a new container. Always. So if you see here, now what I'm doing right now, how many containers you have? 4 containers running. I'll do one thing, I'll stop all the containers for time being. I want to have a clean demo. Stop all the containers and deleted all the containers. Gone. So right now you don't have any containers right now running, at least. So what do we do in this case? So here I'm going to run the container. So here the image was Jenkins, right? So Docker run and dump. See, earlier I was bash. Remember, earlier I was a bash. Now my console become a container. So what has happened? In this case, when I use the run command, it that pull was already there, created a container, started a container, and become a container. That means I was bash, now I become a container itself, PID1. Okay, attached to container PID1. So I don't do, see, human uses shell for interacting, but I'm not a shell anymore. See, I can type anything, but it's not understanding anything. So it's a what? It's a container, PID1. So I have to open up a new console for it and CentOS 123 sudo -s. Here docker ps. See, this is the container. So what is the PID one here? If I see that sbin tini, you can find out another ways also. Exec container ps-ef. See here sbin tini PID one. Okay. So where are you right now? You are on bintini. You are in sbintini. So this is where you are. Okay. So you attach to the container. This is what it happens in this case. So guys, did you understand this combination now? Run combination. All of you.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'll have to kill this container. I'm killing this container that's gone exited. Why it got exited, I'll tell you in a little bit of time. But I want to create and start the container, but I don't want to attach to a container. I do not want to become. I do not want. Do not become, or you say do not attach to a container. Do not attach. So for that, what do you have to do? You have to use -D option. -D for detached. Don't attach. Do not become. Do not attach like that. So can we try now? You see here. Run -D. See, one container, two container. See, I got the two containers. One more container, three containers. So this way you can do quickly. So -D means you will not attach to it. It will create a container, start the container, but you will get detached to that. Do not attach, detach to that. Okay. So guys, this command is clear for now, and going further, I will use this command only. So if you have a doubts or any confusion, please right away, you just let me know. All of you, am I audible?
Yep, that's good.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. All
Now,
good.
what is the next thing? So guys, what I am trying to teach you some rules while working with the container. By the way, this rule is not which is with a container. This rule is applied with every compute technology. What is that rule? So it's a very simple rule, guys. Please hard code these statements in your mind. Physical server is running. Okay. Physical server is running as long as, you know, any idea? As long as PID1 is running. Yeah, physical server. Okay. PID1 is running. This is the important statement what we have. So if you start your laptop, I'm talking about primarily in a Linux or physical machines or virtual machines. As long as the PID1 is running, your system is in running state. Your VM is in running state. If you shut down or forcefully shut down whatever it is, so basically PID1 get killed and PID1 get killed, so your system gets shut down. So same concept we have with the virtual server also. Virtual server is running. Yeah, physical server is running, virtual server is running as long as PID1 is running. So virtual server I am having right now. So I can show you here. You see, my VM is running as long as this PID1 is running. If I kill this system D somehow, then my VM will get stopped. Okay. So this is the concept. So guys, same concept we have with the container also. Remember, container is also compute unit. Okay. So container is also compute unit. So container is running. Yeah, same way. Container is running. Okay. As long as PID1 is running. Okay. As long as PID1 is running. Will you remember this statement, all of you?
Yep. Yes, Raju.
So let's
Yeah.
prove it. Let's prove it. So here, Docker PS. See here, these are the three containers I'm having. I will go inside a container. Docker execute hyphen it bin bash. And here you see here, you have a PID one here is sbintini. So who am I? I am 77. So can I kill, see here, I kill the PID one. And now I had earlier 3 containers. Now we have 2 containers. So that proves like PID 1 is important. Now this one I will do that. Remember, if I don't use -d, I will get into the PID 1. Remember, run means attached to the container PID 1. I got into that. I lost my console. And where I am right now, people think I got stuck. No, you are on PID 1, which is sbintini. So control C I'm using to kill that PID 1 and container got exited. You see that? Only 2 is there. Okay. This is the beauty of this one. Now with this statement, I am making one more statement here. In a physical mesh server, PID1 is your system D. Okay. Why system D? System D, which is running your kernel. Okay. In a physical server, you have operating system and kernel. So it is a system D. In virtual server also you have operating system. So here you have a system D. I'll show you here. Look at it. See here. System D. System daemon. But in case of container, you know what? Here PID1 can be anything. Yeah. When I say anything, means anything. It can be Java, it can be Perl, it can be Python, it can be bin bash, you know, it can be bintini. Yes, bintini, just now we had it, right? Bintini. It can be A, it can be B, it can be C. Yeah, it can be any executable, it can be. Okay, it can be anything. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to teach you is as long as, understand that, as long as anything is running, your container is running. Container is running. So will you remember this one? So containers PID1 can be anything. As long as that the whatever you put it up in the image that is running, your container is running. I hope it is clear now. Did you understand that, all of you?
Yes.
Great. So guys, I am going to use one more image, but this time not application image. I'm going to use root file system image, base image. Which one is that? Docker run Ubuntu. There's one, remember, run will do something. and something which I have explained it to you. It always create a container. Image is not there in my registry, local registry. So it is downloading from the hub.docker.com. Wonderful. Can I see the container now? I did the Docker run. Look at this here, Docker PS. There is no container of Ubuntu. Where it has gone? A. If I see here, this container is being exited. How come? How come? There are many other containers also is getting exited, but I'm talking about this one right now. Why this is being exited? Remember, what is the exited means? Exited means it has run at least once. I said in the morning itself, at least once. So this container got exited. Why? Now to answer this, see here in this PID1H bin bash. So I said container is running as long as PID1 is running, and here it can be anything. So here bin bash, when you run, what happens? Is it holded? See, is it holding? See, no holding. It just run exit, right? It's not holding at all. Are you getting my points, guys, or not? Hello.
Rajesh, yes, yes, yes.
Yes, Rajesh.
So if I see here, if I run ls, it will give me the results and exit. It is not holding it. So same way, if I run docker run Ubuntu and here I run ls, see, it gave me the results of ls of root file system and it got exited. You see here. Why? Why these two containers is getting exited, whereas these containers, when I run, it's not getting exited. Why? This one.
Because there is something running in the container.
Ha. So here what is happening with the Jenkins image? Bintini is keep on running and never exit. Because of that, as Bintini is never exit, your containers is keep on running. But in case of Ubuntu image, here they set bin bash and manually I typed ls, it is going to exit. Of course is going to exit. You run this executable, it will return the output and is going to exit. So if
What about
that
if you use -d along with this command for Ubuntu?
that is a different thing. Running in the daemon mode, detach mode, background mode, whatever you want to call it, you can make it working. You can make it not exiting. So the container will be running. But still you are asking for doing it, right? Keep on running that command. But I'm not talking about that one. I'm not saying how to run any command in the background and keep on running. I am saying you can have anything as part of the PID as long as that is running, your container is running, that is got exited, your container got exited. That is what I'm saying. Are you getting my points? Now, whether you should set bin bash, bintini, Perl, Python, Java -d with some executable, whatever it is, I don't care. That is developer's responsibility of the images. But I want to know the behavior of containers. Make sense, guys?
Yep. So
So,
Rajesh, I just tried the same. I had a CentOS Docker
so
image. I just tried the same. It has been bash, but it doesn't exit. So is there a difference in how that works? Because it's
no, it
running.
will get exited. Bin bash will get exited. Let me show you in front of you. Docker run CentOS. Okay. So it will exit. I'm damn sure about it because CentOS has a base file system, root file system, and bin
Mm-hmm.
bash.
Mm-hmm.
So see here, it got exited. See here, it got
Mm-hmm.
exited. Okay. it will get exit. So who decides whether it will get exit or not? Not you guys. It decided by your executable behavior. Okay. So who said this PID one? Image developers. Okay. Image developer set all this thing. Now coming back to the questions, coming back to a question is how to use container. So guys, so you have to hard code some of the fundamentals about the containers in your mind. With that, I'm going to talk about how to use container. I would request you to think simple, not complicate your understanding. Let's say when you run laptop, what you do? Either you go inside of your laptop and do work with the shell. Remember I said shell, PowerShell for Windows and Bash shell for Linux. Shell. You are human being. You always need a shell. Without that, you cannot work on the machine, compute unit. Either you go inside it and work on it, or through the some way you can access it from outside itself through the network, IP address, port number, and stuff like that. Okay, so the question is how to go inside. That is a question. How to go inside a container and how to access a container from outside. That is a question actually. Okay, from outside. So guys, there are two ways. One is exec way. Many times I have done it. And there's one attach way. What is exec way? So guys, using this command, it would execute any executable. Remember, any executable, it will execute, but inside a container. Okay. For example, okay, exec, you want to execute some container. So Docker PS, you see here, I have this container, Docker execute. Which container? This. What do you want to execute? LS. What do you want to execute? Execute df-kh. Okay, what do you want to execute? You want to execute free, but I want to execute fgh. Why? Because this executable is not set in the path of the container. Of course, if I run fgh in the host machine also, something similar error message we get it. So yes, using exec command, you can execute any executable inside a container, but you know what? But using IT and, listen here, using IT and bin bash combination, it can be any other shell also, you can go inside it. Yeah, IT means what? Interactive. IT means interactive. And who are you? You are a human. You interact to the compute unit using what? Only shell. So IT always work with the shell. It can be bash shell, it can be PowerShell in Windows, or C shell, Corn shell, all this stuff. Okay, so can we do one thing? So right now you see that I'm on the host machine. So Docker, okay, Docker execute -it this container and execute bin bash, then I will go inside a container. And this command I have run it few times in order to prove it what is container. Where are you right now? You are inside a container. So guys, exec is very powerful command. Being outside, it will run the container executable inside of container and give you the output outside. But at the same time, with this combination -it and bin bash, you can go inside it. Okay, and then see here, who are you? So you are right now 103. See here.
Rajesh,
But
one question I
container
have.
is running with a PID 1.
So I have
Yeah.
one question here. So the above command, right? Docker exec it command, right? So directly I can use directly exec and then the ID, right? Where I can log into the Jenkins, right? I don't have to use these extra commands to get into that, right?
No, you want to go inside a container, not login. Don't say login. Just you say
I
go
mean to say
inside a
that, like,
container.
yeah. So as to get into the container, I think last time we used a Docker exec and then directly the container ID, right? Which will
Uh,
be logging in, right?
no. I always use -it to go inside it. But when I have used without -it, that means I executed a container, executable inside a container being outside only.
Sure.
Okay.
I will just
Because
cross check
if
that.
you
Thank
want
you.
to interact, always IT options. Okay. So guys, this is the IT options. Where are you? You are inside a container. Who are you? You are PID 103. Even though if you exit, container will not get exit. You see here, it's still running 2752. It's still running. So guys, that is the one of the ways you can go inside it. But the question is, what is attach? So guys, using attach, you can attach to a process of PID1. Yeah, remember, attach command always attach to the PID1. What is the PID1 for this container? sbintini. So if I attach to this container, many people think they got stuck. Actually, you did not got stuck. Where are you right now? Any idea? Where are you right now?
In PID1.
PID1, and in another ways, you are Bintini. You are not shell. You are not shell. You are Bintini. So Bintini don't understand your command. Only shell understand your command. So yeah, if you run from the Jenkins from the front end, you will see the logs of this Jenkins populating here. But right now I have, because this guy don't understand my commands, and except one keyword Bintini understand, which is Control C. Control C is basically killing the Bintini process. So remember, if the Bintini will get killed, container also will get exit, because the Bintini is a PID1. So I did the Control C, and you see the process has gone. Okay, process has gone, the container has gone, exited. So guys, this is the way. If you want to see the live log, and if you are running PID1 with, let's say, Java, Perl, Python, MySQL-D, or Nginx, or you want to see the live log for the debugging purpose, you can do attach also. By the way, let me tell you here, if a PID1 is a bin bash, then you can attach and interact with the PID1 bin bash just like another compute unit. Yeah, more questions, guys?
I think you answered, because I was wondering what this attach is. What's the value out of this? We are saying for live debugging, you can, anything else
Yeah.
you see this? Only for that?
Most of the time you want to see the logs of PID1. You want to keep floating the logs. It can be MySQL-D, it can be Apache log, or it can be anything as such. You want to see that live, and same time backend you want to code it and all stuff like that. So those are the things you can do.
Got it.
So once you attach then can you detach or it just exit?
Yeah. So once you attach, can you detach? Yes. So the question you should have, if you attach, I'm putting the condition, guys. If you attach to PID1, which is bash, which is shell, actually in short, shell, then you can.
To watch our complete session, enroll for our premium membership. Click onto the join button and enroll yourself with the best suited option.
You can detach using Control P Q. But guys, again I repeat, this command will work only if you have some shell. This command will not be understood by Bintini or Python or Perl or some sort of other executable. So let's do one thing here. See here, docker ps, docker run Ubuntu. You know this command, but you know what is a drawback of it? This will run my container but exit. But here what I am trying now is I don't want the container to be exited. So what I'm going to do, -it, okay, and here I run. Where are you? Basically you interacted. Here you see I interacted, but I did not provide bin bash. Why? Because bin bash was a default set for the Ubuntu. So I did not provide. Who are you? PID1. Okay, so how to come out of it safely without exiting it? Control PQ. And you see here container is still running of Ubuntu. Container is thinking someone is interacting with me. So bin bash I run with interactive mode, and bin bash is being fooled out saying that I'm being interacted. Someone is holding it for the interaction, and I got cleverly get out of it. So this is how you can do that. So Control PQ, but it will work only in the shell, not with any other executable. By the way, every executable has a different behavior. You should not ask me this one. You should ask an expert of that executable. For example, MySQL, Python, Perl, Java, different executable. There are thousands and thousands of executable in the world. You should ask the developer of the product executable. Okay, so this is the behavior of the container. So now guys, how can I go inside a container? Now you know that. Now you can attach here. You can do exec also, by the way, but because bin PID1 is bin bash, I can attach. And you see here, who am I? I am PID1 right now. But if I exit, remember, can we kill the PID1? See here, I'm trying. See, I am PID1. I am trying to kill myself, but it's not getting killed. Why? Why? Any idea, guys?
I'm the process. I'm the process by itself.
Simple rule, guys, for this planet. Suicide is not allowed. Simple. So suicide is never allowed anywhere. So you are PID1. How can you kill yourself? So what I'm going to do, I'm killing not PID1. I am killing bin bash indirectly. And the moment I kill bin bash, PID1 automatically get killed. So here I will type exit. You know that exit means what? Exit will kill that bin bash current session. And bin bash get killed, PID1 get killed, PID1 get killed, container will get exited. And that is what it happened now. You see here, it got exited. So small things you have to remember it while working with it. Yes, how to come out of this? If you have a shell, Control PQ, you can use it. But you know what? There's a shortcut also. Docker run -it. I don't want to go inside this. Attach here, detached. So you are not going inside, you are detaching it. So basically D means Control PQ, you are typing it through the command line. So -d you can use with any containers. See here, one containers. See here, one more containers. Docker run -d Jenkins. Oh, sorry, Jenkins, right? Jenkins. See here. So -d you can use with anything. Okay, so here you are saying detaching. I'm not attaching, detaching. Okay, but why I use IT option here? Because the here it was, I was not needed in Jenkins. Why? Because it's a bintini, automatically it will keep on running. But in Ubuntu it was a bin bash which will get exit. So if I do IT and then details, then it will keep on running. I'm just making fool this container. Okay, so this is the way you have to check it out and then going further. So yes, here I told you how to go inside of container. But now next question is how to access from outside. How to access? Simple, guys. I should grab the container IP address. See here, guys, this is the container. Remember, Jenkins runs by default on 8080 port. So here, can we get the inspect and container ID and see the IP address is accessible or not? So this is the IP address. Pinging, I'm trying to ping first. Oh, it's accessible. You see, I'm able to ping from the same host machine. Now, can I access it, the Jenkins 8080? Wonderful. I got the login page of Jenkins. You see, authentication required. Okay, so I got the login page of Jenkins. I can access it, but can I access it? Because Jenkins is a web-based tool and I am not going to enjoy without a browser. So can I access it? No, I cannot access it. Why? Because the containers, whatever the IP address which is getting assigned to the container is scope of the container is local. For example, let me tell you, if you are in home right now, you are running laptop, you are connected with the home network, you are running Jenkins. Can I access from outside from my home? No. Why? Because your container, I mean your network, the home network scope is limited. It's not exposed to outside. And for that, what you need? Static IP address and port forwarding. So how it works? But let me tell you guys, port forwarding concept is not new. It's every cloud services they are using it. Now, if you know AWS or Azure or Google Cloud, this is what they do that. So this is the EC2 instance, let's say, or anything. Okay, this is the machine. You are running a container here. Container also get IP address, but the scope of this IP address only limited to till the this one. So can I access this container directly? No. Can I access this host directly? Yes. So what to do now? We have to create a port forwarding. How? So if I say, if I hit to the host port at certain port number, then from here, it should redirect to here. So this is called port forwarding concept. All this thing, you set it up at this place. Did you understand that port forwarding concept?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So now guys, I am doing the port forwarding because I can access the container from inside, but I am not accessing from outside. So Docker run -d Jenkins and guys -p, mind it here, -p for port forwarding. First, you will write node port. Node port means VM's port on which the traffic will be coming. So let's say node port is this one, and container port is always static. See here. So next container, if you want to create it, 90. So this is the node port, this is the container port. Okay, I must specify here node port on which the traffic will be coming, and this is the container port on which this will be redirected. Okay, so now guys, if I run this command, clear the screen, see here, Docker PS. Differentiate between the container which is not exposed and the container which is exposed. You see here, this container will come from outside at the 0.0.0.0 at 8080 and it will redirect to container port. Here is not redirected. So now, can I access the container? Yes. Let's get the IP address of the container, which is here, and 8080. IP address of the node, remember, 8080. And now I can access the container on the host machine also. See here. Now, can I create one more container like that? See here. If you try to create same container, port is because host port is already allocated. Remember, host has a one network, so you cannot reuse it. But internal port has to be same. So here 8090. See here. So guys, this is the way you have to work with container to use the container. Okay, very simple. I'm telling you all these commands, so you can try explanations I have already given it. So these are the commands. Don't try to run commands blindly. Use some logic and then you'll be very strong. Remember the logic all the time.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.